I'm gonna give a minute for you guys to come on in. I'm gathering my notes.
Do I even know the name? What's the title? She has you under a spell. Here's why.
Oh, notified. Hey, you're live.
All right. What is the title? Do I even get to see the title?
I don't know.
All right, guys. I'm gonna give you guys time to get on here.
You know it's a. How do you know?
Can you look at your thing to see what it says?
Participants.
Here's
What's the title that we? Yeah, she has you under a spell.
All right, guys. I see 11 people here. Do I get to see chat?
Yeah.
All right.
Search it.
Okay.
Oh, I would turn down your.
What? That's you.
Get any feedback? Oh, is that me?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Was that me? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's you. All right, guys. Give me a minute here.
That's my like, share.
And please, guys, remember to subscribe. If you're new, smash the like button. And share. This is good stuff here. Okay, guys, I'm just gonna give me another minute as I get the scriptures here that I want to use here. But I want to share something with you guys. I see you guys in there. Luke, Cage, Stewart. We got Brother Jules, Terrence. Got Sister Evelyn and CJE. Shalom, shalom. All right, guys. Hey, let me start off with this scripture here. Maybe from Evan, before I even start off here. The other night I was, can you guys hear me? Just give me an 8 if you guys hear me clear. Just tell me if you guys, thank you, Brother Kabir. You have really helped me. I'm glad. All right, Reggie. Can you guys hear me? Testing 1, 2, 3. I'm using this mic here, so it should be very clear. It should be very clear. Okay, good. I'm using my computer for the first time, so this is kind of good because I always use my phone. So now my arms, I'm getting a good shoulder workout here. But anyway, hey, I was guys, when I try to, you guys know my whole premise is trying to really just, continue guys to educate you guys about the deception of Christianity. I really want to do this because I was in it for 16 years, gave a lot of money, time. I built my house, my family under the guise of Christianity, under a deception. And so I'm the kind of guy that I don't want to see anyone ever deceived the way I was deceived. I gave it my all. Just like I'm doing now, I gave it my all, 100% time, effort, money, and I was deceived. 8 children are without a father because of my ignorance. Ignorance, Satan does not care if he takes you out through ignorance. He does not care. And so just want to educate those who have ears to hear and have eyes to see. This is for you guys. But I was talking to a guy that I did, and I won't say his name because he's at least respectable. But a guy that I did ministry with when I was in Christianity. I've known him for over 10 years. I'm even thinking when Aaron Rodgers, I don't even know when Aaron Rodgers came into the league, but it was about that time. So it was over 10 years, easy. I learned how to handle money from a biblical perspective. I'll just leave it as that. Through this ministry, it was a big changer for me at that time. I felt like it was, and I still use a lot of the principle, which a lot of it was right, but there's a lot of things they left out. But talking to him made me realize, I'm like, how come so many people are deceived by my ex-wife? I'm just like, well, you got people who literally did ministry with me, knows my heart, knows my character. And it blows me away how so many people took her side, and no one took my side. And it came down because but I can't be mad at this guy who's known me for all these years, because as much as I can sit here and say, how did all these people, Christianity is just is a false religion, but the Christians within this religion are all deceived. This is why Jesus warns us. He says, Do not be deceived. I mean, you see it throughout the time. Many will come in my name and deceive many and say that I am Christ. I mean, he warns us, do not be deceived. I mean, there is a huge delusion in the world that we're in, especially in Christianity. Christianity is a religion that completely deceives people and making them think that they love Yah and that they love their neighbor. And it's actually the opposite. These people are literally under a delusion. They're hating God and hating their neighbor. And so I wanted to share this thing that I used to when I was in Christianity. When I was in Christianity, I went to a whole bunch of Christian conference, wedding, a marriage conference, Laugh Your Way to a Better Marriage, PAO, Life Skills Internet. I mean, I went through all of these. And every year, I always feel like I'm getting better. And they always try to men conference. They have these conference called I can't even think of some of these famous men conference, but they call it I can't think of it. But anyway, I went to all these conferences, right? About men and men just being men and godly men and women being, but you never get to hear what they told the women, and they always separated the husband and the wives. So they always separated. Men got their rebuke, women got supposedly their rebuke. But then when it came together, it seemed like mostly men got the rebuke, and you come out of it. In the 16 years that I was married to my ex-wife, I was always wrong, always wrong. Anytime we sat with a pastor, a counselor, I truly yours always came out wrong, always came out wrong. I mean, it was like, it didn't even matter if she clearly did something flat out wrong. It's my fault. Literally my fault. In the 16 years, I don't think I ever heard in my natural ears until I came to Straightway that my wife did anything wrong. At the time, my ex-wife, she couldn't do no wrong. That's why I got to the point of frustration saying, man, she can literally kill me and they'll still find a way to say it's his fault. And I wanted to tell you the delusion. If you are, listen to me, and you have come out where because I know there's a lot of men out there coming into the truth, and their wife is acting up, and they're so used to being wrong that they think there's a possibility that they could be wrong because they're always wrong. And then you go to your Christian pastors or your Christian counselor, and they tell you, well, you need to make sure you don't be prideful. They use words, don't be prideful, or put her needs before your needs, or Christ washed the feet of his disciple, love your wife like Christ loved the church and was willing to die for her. You know, die to your pride. You don't always have to be right. I mean, they'll do all these things to deceive you, to making you think that your whole world is to make sure you take on. So here's what happened. So, and I'm going to tell you stuff that I used to tell people. It wasn't biblical, but it sounded biblical because it rhymes, or maybe it sound good or whatever, but it worked in Christianity. It worked in Christianity, but it is not biblical what I'm about to tell you. But here is the delusion and this is where I remember I was in the airport. I would never forget this day. Me and my ex-wife was walking in the airport, and I was so frustrated. I think we maybe came back from a marriage conference or something like that. And I said, I get it. I finally get it. And I remember the look on her face when she was happy that I was in agreement of this lie. Now, I didn't think it was a lie at the time, but what I'm going to tell you is a lie. So please hear what I'm saying. I remember telling her and saying, I get it. When I am wrong, now let's say I am genuinely wrong. Let's say I got it wrong and the woman is right. It seems like in our relationship, there was no contentions. It was like, yep, you're wrong, I'm right. I mean, it's clear. The man is wrong. And it seemed like me and my ex-wife, we could live together. There was not that much contention. But damn it, when she was wrong and I was right, Oh my goodness. I mean, there was contention, there was rejection going on, withholding affection, not, I mean, just, I mean, hell, I mean, it's like literally you could tell that until I somehow took it off of her and say, no, it's not your fault, it's my fault, boom, boom, boom. But when she was wrong and I was right, our marriage was chaotic. It was not a place to live. It was contentious. It just, you just get to the point where you somehow just say, you know something, babe, that was my fault. You know, if I was there, like, I know you dropped the plate, but maybe you're tired. We got all these children, and maybe if I was home to help, you find ways. I mean, you actually become skillful. You become skillful in ways of learning how to somehow take it. And then you know she's going to come back with the comeback. Or are you just saying that? No, 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 no. Let me tell you that I'm not just saying that. I'm going to even be articulated in such a way to let you know that it's not your fault. Because if I was there and this and this and that, and then you wouldn't have dropped the plate. It's okay. And then she feels good. Like, okay, you really, truly believe it's your fault. Yep, it's my fault. And then we can live again. So I learned in the 16 years that I had to take everything onto me. And then this is where the lie came in. The lie came in, I'm Christ in the marriage. And please, guys, I hope no one believes this stuff. I'm just telling you, this is a delusion. What they say? What's the saying? I give a disclaimer. What I'm about to say is a lie. It's not even true. It's deception. This is the spell. I told myself that because I'm the husband in the marriage, just like Christ died and took on the sins of the world in Christianity, even though it's for Israel, but took on the sins of the world so that we can now be free and no longer we can now live under grace and mercy, that literally when my wife would do something wrong, when my ex-wife did something wrong, I literally said, that's not her sin, it's my sin. I put it on me because that was the only way our relationship can work. And the whole time you can go to church will support, it's always the man's fault. Always the man's fault. Conference is always the man's fault. Amongst the guy's relationship is always the man's fault. It's always the man's fault. And so even when I came into to Straightway, I remember going into Straightway and I remember telling them the situation. And I'm talking to a sister. I don't know what sister I was talking to because I was talking to a whole bunch trying to get a hold of an elder at the time. This is when I first was coming to Straightway 2 years ago. And I remember saying, well, you know, this is what I did. I was just trying to come and check this thing out, blah, blah, blah. And they said, sir, there's nothing. She said, there's nothing you're doing wrong. I mean, I said, but let me tell you my wife's side. I mean, you know, because I was so accustomed that if I said my story, automatically it was my fault, automatically. And so I wasn't accustomed to being right at all. And so when you talk to people at Straightway, I'm talking to a sister and she's telling you, no. I said, no. Let me tell you my wife's side so that you can probably have a better, because you're just hearing my side. And I didn't even know, maybe she was like, do you feed her, clothe her? Yep, I do all those things. I didn't even know why they were asking me those questions. But those are concrete evidence that showed that I was loving my wife. But I didn't even put two and two together because in Christianity, it's all abstract. It's all abstract. And so you wanted her to come. She didn't want to come. No, she didn't want to come. Well, she's being rebellious. I'm like, whoa. But let me tell you, because I'm not emotionally bonding to her. And the woman stopped me and says, sir, that's when you talk about emotional bonding or whatever, that's what we women use when we want to manipulate you or deceive you. Crocodile tears, all these different things. I'm like, I was just shocked. Even though the thing was happening to me, I didn't even, it was mind blowing to hear a woman voice saying, you're right and your woman is wrong. It just blew my mind away. And so let me read something to you why I believe that it's not like what we see in the movies like witches or whatever, but here's the spell. I mean, look what the Bible says. In 1 Samuel 15:23 says, for rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is iniquity of idolatry. Do you guys hear this? So rebellion is the sin of witchcraft. So literally Christianity is set up in such a way. So I was talking to this guy last night, and it wasn't until I brought David. Guys, I'm testing this out because I'm just trying to understand, like, and the whole time thinking, like, man, how come they believe her? Because in Christianity, the man is assumed to be automatically wrong. Automatically. It doesn't even matter what it is. Even if the woman slaps him across the face, kicks him in the nuts, it's the guy's fault. Even when me and my ex-wife went through when this whole thing broke down, when we were going to court and everything, do you know Jacob's Well? You know Ron Young. Ron Young, I went to their church. Me and Eileen went to that church to get counseling in hopes that they can kind of help us, because the church at Living Hope Church was not helping us. So they was willing to step in and help us. But what I didn't realize is that my ex-wife was perfectly okay. She was perfectly okay with us meeting with them, because what I learned is all these years, my ex-wife literally picked our friends. She picked the church that we went to. She picked the counseling we went to. Everything that I was a part of was an illusion that I picked it. Now, when I say that she picked it, it wasn't like I like to think I was a man at that time, but I picked them. I handpicked all of our friends. I picked the churches we went to. I picked the counseling that we went to. But this is how it looked like. Yeah, I picked it, but my decision was influenced by the woman. So let me give you an example. I want to give you guys some concrete events so that maybe if you guys can look at your own relationship, who are hearing my voice, who also look back and say, oh, and maybe you can help other people to see the deception that they're in. So for example, let's say there's 3 churches. You got church A, B, and C. Now, me personally, I love church A. Church A sounds biblical. Just when I was in Christianity, it sounded very biblical. They preached the word hard compared to these other churches that's all about emotions and feelings. But this church seems to be really preaching the word, right? You judge KG, don't judge KB so harsh. I'm sure you weren't. Okay. But anyway, I don't know what somebody says. But yeah, I was a simp. Yep. Yeah, guys, I'm putting it out there because guess what? I'm not the only guy. I'm a recovering simp. I'm not a simp anymore, but I am now a man, a Hebrew man. But anyway, let me keep on. So anyway, in Christianity, I like church A because it was very biblical. But my ex-wife at the time would say, I feel like I'm not learning, or I just don't feel comfortable. And so because I knew I was reading the Bible on my own, I never went to church looking for somebody to teach me how the word of, no church that I ever went to in Christianity ever could surpass me, except until I came to Straightway, but could surpass me on my knowledge on the Bible. I knew the Bible better than all the churches I went to. And when I found churches that could kind of match what I was doing or matching the scripture, those are the churches that my wife would say that she didn't feel comfortable with. So then I said, okay, well, how about church B? And now the whole time now, guys, let me tell you, have you ever watched this movie called Sixth Sense? Have you ever watched this movie called Sixth Sense? And I think it's with a guy named Bruce Willis. Now, you guys, I don't know. I don't watch movies as much as I used to, but when you watch the movie, he was a man that thought he was alive. The whole time when you're watching the movie, and I don't mean to give it away if you haven't seen it, but the whole time he thinks he's alive. He's talking to this little boy, if I remember correctly. And then at the very end of the movie, he found out that he was dead the whole time. But the whole time he thought he was alive. And then he started going back and said, oh, that's why I couldn't open the door. Oh, that's why that happened. Or he started going back to see to start realizing the whole time he was dead, but he thought he was alive. So anyway, guys, I'm trying to watch the chat, but let me just finish this stuff and now check this chat. So this is kind of me. I'm going back looking like I thought I was the head of my home. I thought I was leading, but when I look back, I wasn't really leading. My ex-wife literally, they always say in Christianity, the man is the head, but the woman is the neck. She's the one that can move the head in any direction she wants. And that is true. In Christianity, the woman is the neck that moves the head. The head is just a figurehead. He's not even real. It's just an illusion that he looks like the head, but the whole time the woman, like a Jezebel, is the one that's controlling all of the decisions. She's the one that either gives her blessing or not. If she doesn't want something to go, she just has to be contentious. If she's contentious, there's a good chance she's going to get what she wants. So let me go with my church analogy. So I got church A, B, and C. So I said, well, hey, babe, how about church B? Then you always say, well, how about church B? And she kind of like, she murmurs and complains. And like, I really don't like, I'm not, I feel like, this and that. And then and just because she doesn't like it, then you say, well, how about church C? And the whole time she wanted church C. The whole time that's what she wanted. But she doesn't tell you. She waits until you finally land on her choice. And then when you get to church C, listen to this, man. This is what men do wrong. And I bet you even men in the Hebrew Israelite community are doing the same thing. Even I have to watch myself not to do it today because of all those years of bad training. And I'm being transparent. So you guys can probably say, oh, I do the same thing, or I don't do that. So, hey, whatever. So anyway, then you get to church C. And she starts to kind of question it a little bit. The whole time she knows that this is the church she wants because her girlfriend goes there. She heard about the church. She already did all her research. And she may have even suggested it. And so we go around searching for churches, shopping for churches. It's like you're going shopping, right? So you finally go in here, you look at it, it's more spirit filled and but you see a lot of women up in front and you see men pastor, but it's mostly, you can tell it's not masculine at all. It's not even biblical. But I thought like, okay, I can teach the word at home. We can come in here and get more of this spirit-filled stuff because a lot of the churches I was picking wasn't really casting out devil, doing any type of deliverance. And not this church that we went to, Living Hope Church, don't do that. But I get it. So I had a meal piece things. I knew I was going to take care of this, the scripture teaching at home. And then maybe we go to this church for this, because of spirit field or whatever that's supposed to mean, really just emotional field. And then we just put it all together because we needed fellowship and things of that nature, and not just being hermit. So anyway, so she kind of sit there and just and she says, you know something? I like this church, Kabir. Great job. So now the man is looking for validation from the woman. If you are a man and you're looking for your wife to validate you in your decisions, you're not a man and you're not making the decisions. The man is the one that validates the woman. But when the woman becomes the validator, you're done. You're not the head. Satan is running that home. The woman should be looking for your validation. Your children should be looking for your validation, men. It should not be the other way around. As soon as you're looking for your woman's validation, you are now have dishonored your head, Jesus. We men get our validation from our head, Jesus. Just like Jesus got his validation from the Father. He says, this is my only begotten son who I'm well pleased. You see that? Who I'm well pleased. So if you're getting your validation from your wife and making her determine what your decision, I'm telling you, you are deceived. So I'm giving you guys some concrete. Think about how you make your decisions. Think about where you look to see if your decisions are good or right, good or bad, because you should be lining it up to the word. You should be getting your decision should be validated by the word, men. You're the spiritual leader in that home. Your head is Jesus Christ, not that woman. That woman should be looking to you to say, am I a good? She should be waiting to hear good and faithful wife. And you should be listening to the word. And you want to be able to know that you are being a good and faithful servant to your master, Jesus. So guys, is this making sense to you guys what I'm saying here? I just want to share this. And so I remember Christianity deceived me into thinking that if I take on my wife's sin, and the reason why we had no peace at the home, it was false peace, not the peace that I'm experiencing now. Here, women are in their role and you have genuine peace. But I had to manufacture the peace by just literally lying. Who's the father of all lies? Satan. So I literally just said, it's my fault. I even learned, I didn't even know I was doing that. I was learning how to lie and deceive myself, deceive the world, to somehow put it on me so that my ex-wife at the time can feel better. And then I met my match. I had my dream. And basically Yah says, you do not love me. And all of a sudden, all I could think of is John 14:15. If you love me, you will keep my commandments. And my natural and this time it was real. It reminded me of this. Let me read you here in Job. I believe it's in Job. In Job chapter 33. Guys, I can't make this thing up. I really can't. But I'm going to read this to you guys here. Look what it says in Job. He says this. And this is what it took, because I was in a Gentile, Roman, Greco community here in Green Bay, Wisconsin, mostly all Caucasian. I don't have anything against Caucasian. I'm just trying to tell you the context of where I was at. I'm a black man, very already passionate. My passion can be mistaken for pride. It can be mistaken for, I don't know, mistaken for just being prideful, I guess. That's what he will say to me. Or you're being prideful, or you need to. I mean, I was too strong, and they always kept trying to keep me down and make me more effeminate, pretty much like them. But here's what it says. It says in Job 33:14, it says, for God speaketh once, yea, twice, yet man perceived not. I knew something wasn't right. Verse 15, in a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men and slumber upon the bed. Then he opened the ears of men and sealed their instructions, that he may withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from man. He keepeth back his soul from the pit and his life from perishing by the sword. So guys, that's what happened. I had a dream, a vision, whatever you call it. And Yah got a hold of me and woke me up. And now I know that keeping his commandment has to do with loving him. And then all of a sudden he took my desire off of my ex-wife and put it on him. And I had to do, I mean, he showed me this is where your love should be. This is where your desire should be on. Not unto the woman, your desire should be unto me. And once I start doing that, and then right after that, shortly after that, I see Pastor Dowd's video about the Sabbath. He did a beautiful job in convincing me that we are to keep the Shabbat. And he used the New Testament, if I'm not mistaken. He literally used the New Testament to show. And I was a guy that said, if you can Bible it, I can believe it. And he did it. He Bibled it and I believed it. And so once I got hooked, guess what? My ex-wife, you think she says, okay, well, you're the head. You go ahead. Even though I told her right after that dream, just like when Yah told Adam not to touch the fruit of the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Who did he tell when he had his wife? He told his wife, Eve, we can't touch this. He didn't tell both of them. He told Adam, Adam told Eve. As soon as I had my dream, the very first human being that I told about my dream, it was fresh off the print, man. I'm telling you, it was fresh off the press. I rolled off my bed. I called my ex-wife, Eileen, come. She sat right next to me. She could tell that I was terrified, and told her, do you believe that God told you to marry me? She said, yes. I said, I need you to trust God for my leadership. And no more. At that day, that night, I knew I could no longer allow her to influence my decision. I no longer looked for her validation. I knew all of her tricks. She would either withhold affection, meaning wouldn't hug me, greet me, or whatever. She would either withhold sex, or she would have sex and just play the dead body or whatever, to the point it makes you not even want to have sex. I'm being honest, guys, so that you don't make the same mistake. You can sit there in your pride and say, oh, yeah, I'm just being honest. I know this is affecting many men out there. 90% of men in this country are being impacted by this, and they know what I'm talking about. And once Yah taught me what I should be really looking at, now because once I saw it, I went for it. And no longer was I. And so when I decided to go see Straightway go down to Tennessee to see how to do the Shabbat, And she pulled all of the tricks. I'm talking about she pulled it out. She pulled it out. I mean, it started. That's what made it start because normally I never experienced her get so disrespectful. I mean, she's always been disrespectful because she's however you do with anything is how you do with everything. She always was disrespectful, but it was covert. It was more, thing. But she started, you guys saw it on tape. I have it on video where me and her's talking. That was me trying to bring it down, trying to go back to the word. But she just started getting just obscenely disrespectful to the point now we're fighting in front of the children. We never fought in front of the children. And now the children are seeing us fight. And that's because I never allowed it to get to that point because I always ended up acquiescing and capitulating to her feelings, emotions, and opinion. But when Yah showed up and told me that you don't love me and you will be tested, that's when it started going down because now I'm like, am I going to fear her or fear him? And I feared him more than I feared her. And so, and the rest is history. You guys know the story. I don't need to relive it, but I'm telling you, that was the delusion that I was under. So how can I be mad at so many of the Christian people? Say I'm bitter. I got to be mad at all these people when they all have been deceived. I'm just thankful. I prayed this morning. I said, Yah, thank you so much for my new woman, Sister Bree. Thank you so much for my community. Thank you so much for giving me the peace that I have. Thank you so much for opening my eyes and removing the scale. Thank you for unplugging because I'm just blown away because it's not like I did anything special to be able to have eyes to see and ears to hear. That's why Jesus said, blessed are you because you see and hear. And so, guys, I am humbled that Yah was so gracious out of all of the people in Wisconsin that I'm aware of, or in Green Bay area, he opened my eyes. Now, a lot of people is going to be shocked. I'm sorry. I'm a black man. I know you probably thought it would be a white pastor, a theologian, or somebody sophisticated or something, but I'm the guy he picked. I'm that passionate, supposedly prideful guy, the same accusation that Pastor Dow gets, but I'm the guy that he picked. And so now I'm crying out loud and spare not. And showing people their transgressions. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. So if you are a Christian listening to this stuff and you know people who are in your world, they're deceived. If you're getting your validation from the woman, you are deceived. I didn't know it. I literally thought I was loving God. I literally thought I was loving my wife like Christ loved the church. But he rebuked the church. He turned over tables. He railed on his disciples, railed harshly. You don't hear that because we always see the effeminate Jesus on the movies. When we watch all these Jesus movies that they put out there, he's usually effeminate. Mel Gibson, except for the tone of the skin, is the only one that kind of made him look a little bit more manly. But guys, I just wanted to share that with you guys because I'm telling you, the deception is real. Christianity is a strong delusion. I was under that delusion and now I can see. I was taking the blue pill, now I've taken the red pill. And I'm seeing, guys, this rabbit hole is deep, deep, deep. Even when David was giving this testimony, I should get David in here. Even when I was giving this testimony to this guy that I did ministry with, we did ministry together. He even says that the stuff he sees on my YouTube of me ranting, it looked like I'm bitter and this and this stuff. And you know what he says, well, the way you're David, the way you're describing Kabir sounds more like that sounds like a Kabir. That sounds typical of Kabir that I know. But then all of a sudden, I just went cool. Doesn't the Bible say that a bad tree produces bad fruit and a good fruit produces good fruit? And a bad tree cannot produce good fruit and a good tree cannot produce bad fruit. But all of a sudden in Christianity, somebody that was producing good fruit is now producing bad fruit. So guys, I'm telling you, you will be hated if you in this thing. When you come into the truth, I know a lot of you guys are being threatened that if you don't drop this doctrine of keeping the commandments of Yah, if you if you don't, you will be shunned. You will be rejected. They will separate you from their company. They will break up your homes. Guys, I'm telling you, it's worth it. It can be better. Look at me. Everything is better. And even when I'm in it, I still have to fight the temptation of looking back. That's why Jesus says that if anybody looks back, they're not fit for the kingdom. If you put your hands on the plow and you look back, you're not fit for the kingdom. So guys, I'm here to tell you, move forward. Follow the commandments of Yah. It does not change. It's not like Christianity. 1 minute it in, 1 minute is out. Stay the course, guys. Stay the course. Because Christianity is a religion of lies. It teaches you how to hate Yah and how to hate your neighbor. You have a woman who is a professing Christian. She is supported by the Christian church in this community, taking her husband, I'm going to say that from her perspective, because she is still bound to me until I write her a bill of divorce, to taking her husband to court. You're not even supposed to, according to 1 Corinthians 6, you're not even supposed to take your brother to the unjust. You're not even supposed to take them, let alone a woman, the father of your children. Does the Bible not say that the sin of anger, if you angry at your brother, it is the sin of murder? It's like murder. Did she not murder her children's father by going around and destroying his name, lying on me? So guys, I'm telling you, I was under a great, and the reason why so many people believe her over me is because of the fact that she, I gotta get going on an appointment here, but the reason why they was able to believe her is because in Christianity, the man is always wrong. I remember Jacob's, when I'll end on this note, I was at Jacob's Well. It was the last counseling session we did. No one would take us in, but Jacob's Well did, the one that Ron Young goes to. And he says, Kabir, you need to be a lead repenter. I'm saying, what the hell? You don't even read that in the Bible. But this is the doctrine they teach at Jacob's Well, a Presbyterian church here in Green Bay. I need to be the lead repenter, meaning if I lead in repentance, then the woman will follow. And so you may not be wrong, but you got to act like you're wrong, and then in hopes that you can win her over, and she now will say, I was wrong too. That never happened. If I'm not mistaken, 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 1-6 says the woman's job to win her husband over. It's not the husband's job to win over. Literally in Christianity, the man is the woman and the woman is the man. It's a matriarch. It's literally matriarch. And that's why. And to be honest with you, it really should be the man is always right unless he goes against the commandments of Yah. And the woman is always subject to the man. But in Christianity, it's totally different. And so anyway, I got to take my dad to this doctor appointment. I got duties to do, but I just wanted to put that out there. It was on my heart to just help you guys to be able to look for signs, because when you're in it, you can't tell. But maybe if you see the physical manifestation that I'm describing, you can say that's me. So if you're looking for your woman's validation of making the right decision, now there's nothing wrong. Let me say what I'm not saying. There's nothing wrong to get their point of view, or maybe if they say, hey, I like this, to seek counsel and stuff like that. But you make the decision. You do what you want to do and what you think is best. At the end of the day, as long as it don't go against the commandments of Yah, be an alpha. Isn't that what Yah described himself? He's the alpha and the omega. Act like an alpha. I sometimes just go against what somebody tells me to do. If somebody tells me, hey, I think this would be good. Sometimes if it's not wrong, I say, well, this is what I want to do. Now what? So guys, I hope this is helpful. Much love, brother. Let me see. She got mine gone. Still talking about her thinking you helping someone. Brother, go enjoy. Okay. Guys, hey, let me tell you something. Let me say what Haas Head says. He says, I'm going to read this. This will just show you guys. This is deception right here by Haas Head. He may mean well. He may be sincere. But here's the problem, son. He says, she got your mind gone. You still talking about her thinking you helping someone. Brother, go enjoy your wife. Don't treat her like a slave. This is deception. This guy named Hog Head is deceiving you. So you think, Yah, I never heard him ever speak to me in my whole entire 40-something years of life. And he gives me a dream where I knew it was truly from the Most High. And you think he just gave me that dream just to keep and bottle it to myself? Man, the lie is deep. This was not for me. This was for everybody. My dad had a dream that he says, only your children are going to lead people back to God. But according to Hoss Head, my job is to keep my mouth shut, enjoy my wife, and just do my thing. How is that loving your brothers? Now that I got my strength back, now that he's giving me brothers and sisters who is so much peace, and I got a beautiful bride. You want me just to keep this to myself? Just keep it to myself? That's selfish. That's hateful. Guys, that's the type of deception I'm talking about. See, he wants me to keep my mouth shut, just like they told me before. Don't put your business out there before. Now it's coming in a positive way. See, before it was like, Kabir, hey, let this just blow over. Don't say anything. Don't do all this YouTube thing. Then it's, oh, it was a good idea. Then you got this guy coming in a positive. See, Satan comes in so many different realms. So now he comes in this way and say, hey, man, you think you're helping people? Bullshit. Bullshit on him. Because he's not getting all the emails, the phone call. I got a call brother today that's going through the same thing. You got people on here saying, man, this thing is helping me. You got people liking. But thank Yah that he didn't give that man that dream, because we know what his ass would have done. He would have literally not shared this with anybody. He would have kept it to himself, enjoy whatever blessing that God was supposedly giving him, and keep that to himself, and wouldn't let his brothers know out there. And I'm talking to people in the Philippines, in Africa, in Australia, in the UK, and all in America. But he says, just keep it to yourself. Does not the word says that what I tell you in secret, go tell it to the world? So, hey, if I'm wrong, please comment. I got to go take my dad. To to his appointment. But hey, if I'm wrong, tell me. I get it. My ex-wife is a narc. She probably gets off thinking that she's affecting me because I'm saying her name. But guys, I'm trying to. This is for you all. You're right. I could do that. It's old news to me. It is old news. It is so old, it's not even funny. I do enjoy my life, but I can't keep this. It's too good to keep this to myself. I'd rather be about his business. I'm about my father's business. So anyway, but hey, that's his opinion. You are entitled to your opinion. You are, but you're wrong. But hey, show me in the word. What's his name? Hetty, whatever his name is, Head Hoss or whatever. Do me a favor. Comment below. Give me chapter. Give me book, chapter, and verse to tell me what you're saying. Tell me, if I'm doing something, I'll be the first one to repent. But other than that, if you don't have a word, I'm going to continue getting this word. This lets me know I'm doing something right, for the fact that, but that's what I'm talking about. It comes in the positive. Say, hey, enjoy your wife. Enjoy your community. Don't talk about this. You're not helping anybody. That is a lie from the pit of hell. Say, I rebuke you, Satan. Okay, I got to go, guys. I love you. Comment, like, share. Obviously, Satan does not want this to get out. Share it so people can hear. Maybe people can get out of this great delusion that they're in and start taking the red pill and start experiencing life. Start teaching people to lose their life so they can save their life, and then save their life. If you try to save your life, you lose it. All right. Remember, be faithful in the little things. I'm running late for my dad's appointment. I love you. Shalom, shalom.